Hello, everybody. My name is David Post. I'm the Managing Director of Corporate Development and Strategy at Chainlink Labs. And today I'm super pumped to be joined by Chris and Kiba, who are the co-founders of Deck DAO. Now, one of the primary characteristics of the last market cycle has been the emergence of DAOs. And there's a major market opportunity for DAO-to-DAO services. And I think that the work that Debt DAO is doing is going to really be important in fulfilling some of those market needs. So to start with, can you just kind of tell us about the genesis of the project and the problem you're trying to solve?
Yeah, so originally the project kind of got started when I was working at a DAO called Index Co-op and just realized the need for debt funding or lines of credit for DAOs for treasury management, just more efficient operations, replacing liquidity mining, like all these types of things. It's very useful for also like not just operations for DAOs, but also building new types of DeFi products. And so there wasn't any way to do this in the market at the time. There was like some people like Iron Bank that were experimenting with it, but no one had really kind of taken control of this kind of like DAO line of credit concept. And so that's kind of where Deck DAO came in. And we saw like a huge market opportunity for DAOs and for DeFi.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity because a lot of DAOs that we're seeing right now have this desire to diversify their treasuries. We've seen recent proposals, right, with Lido. Just the other day, we saw one with Gitcoin. I think this is something that is really apparent across the industry. Every single DAO is in a pretty similar situation where they have such a high concentration of their treasury in their own native token. And if it's not concentrated in their own native token, it's more than likely that the other token would be Ethereum, which again is a volatile asset. And we love Ethereum, but if you're paying contributors, it's more than likely that they have a desire to be in USDC or DAI or one of the other stable coins. And that's kind of where our solution comes into the picture.
Yeah, it's super interesting because, you know, one facet of cryptocurrency is people are kind of like creating value. And, you know, you have DAOs right now in a situation where they're holding like literally tens of billions of dollars. I'm not sure what the most recent statistic is, but it's a substantial amount of financial value. But that value, you know, can't really be, you know, let out. They're not going to liquidate their whole treasury and their native tokens because that's not good for the project as a whole. So there's a big source of financial value. There's a lack of liquidity in terms of that financial value. And therefore, I think that the type of service that you're offering is something that's going to be really important. And I know we've talked, and this is kind of like the start of the journey for you, and a lot of other interesting things will be in the works. So I think that there's a big need for this. It's good for DAOs, provides them with more predictability. And I think so. I think you're very much on the right track in terms of launching an interesting service. You've basically, you know, went through the tail end of your funding round in kind of volatile market conditions. So congratulations on finishing it up. So just tell us, the viewers here, a little bit about who's in your funding round and just generally your experiences and what you'd recommend to other founders who are kind of, you know, going through the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really fortunate to be able to weather through the storm and have investors that are excited to, you know, fund our growth, just in the same sense that Debt DAO is funding growth. We have investors helping us capitalize on that. So our round's led by Dragonfly Capital. We're super excited to have that. We're working with Hasib. Our other investors include GSR, Numius, Daedalus, Fascinator Digital. And there's a number of angels that are participating from various DeFi projects such as TrueFi, Galleon DAO, Llama DAO, and then even Bellagio. And I think through the process, you know, what we've learned is that it's also really important to realize, like, you know, you're not just fundraising, you're also the founder of a project, and to continue kind of moving forward. And I would say that if we didn't continue building throughout, you know, the fundraise process and we fully focused on the fundraise, it would have been a lot more difficult to get the fundraise done. I think we received feedback from a lot of investors that, you know, the efforts that we did in the BD side of things, and then what Kiba's done with the smart contracts was really kind of paramount to them getting comfortable with the investment.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, is kind of like, you know, keep focused on the product. I think that throughout, you know, my time chatting with you, you've always had a strong narrative. You've kind of known where you're going. You've done the technological development in parallel, and you kind of like haven't waited. You've done a lot of, you know, user discovery and collected user feedback. And I think that kind of helped you weather the storm as you tried to, you know, close out the funding round under very, you know, challenging conditions. So yeah, I want to just say again, you know, props on all the progress so far. We've enjoyed kind of like supporting you by making some connections and providing advice where we can, and looking forward to, you know, seeing you create a service that I think is going to be really valuable to helping DAOs grow and scale over time.
And yeah, we've also using Chainlink a lot. So thanks a lot for all of your guys' support at a technological level.
Say just thanks to Chainlink. I mean, Chainlink's making it possible. We're using price oracles throughout the whole system, and I think later on you might see a couple other elements where we integrate potentially with like keepers and maybe even like the DECA solutions. So we're really excited to work with Chainlink and keep building forward.
Awesome. Keep on making things happen. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.